You know what sucks? I actually put some effort into making this video, and then I deleted the soundtrack on the back, which deleted all of my audio. So rather than just scrap all my work, I'm just going to talk over what I said last time. I didn't take any notes or do anything, so I'm just going to summarize just to save some of my effort and put it up here for my own satisfaction, if anything. So basically, I started off this video trying to illustrate the beauty of a bullpup and how it kind of gets around, not necessarily around the NFA, but it illustrates how stupid the NFA and in turn the ATF is. So the first thing I did is I looked at their website where they're talking about what is regulated under the NFA. And specifically, I'm focusing on their SBRs and SBSs. So short-barreled rifle and short-barreled shotgun, which as you can see on their website, is anything with a barrel under 16 inches, an overall length of under 26 inches, and with the shotgun, it's an 18-inch barrel, and again, a 26-inch overall length, buttstock to muzzle. And it's a stupid, arbitrary number that they came up with, but I'm going to try and explore why they came up with that and how stupid it really is. So again, from their website, you can see that the NFA originated because of the weapons that were used by the gangsters of the 20s and 30s. So how stupid is that that's still what they're imposing upon us? At a time in 1919 when prohibition was everywhere, where they made something illegal that the people wanted, and just like anything, when you outlaw something, it's the outlaws that then take it over. So as is human nature, back then the outlaws and the gangsters were the ones that then started bootlegging the alcohol, and they were mostly just targeting each other. And initially, as far as crime goes, and initially they were the originators of the pocket pistols, the little concealable ones that they could hide on their person easily. And then they kind of wanted more power, so they evolved to the larger 45s and 38s and such. But then the law started getting after them, and they started getting the weaponry too. And this is kind of the originators of what the ATF is now. And I also mentioned the bandits that were in vehicles like Bonnie and Clyde that just had fast cars and they could get away from the cops. They could speed away with a fast car. Back then, they didn't have radios. Cops couldn't chase you with a helicopter or anything. So that was in the same era as these gangsters, was also these bandits. And so the weapons that they used are the weapons that the ATF is using to regulate us nowadays, which is your Tommy guns, which had a 10.5-inch barrel. And I should mention too, in the Old West, it was a time when you could have any weapons you wanted, and it was the outlaws that were running the show too. And there was a Mormon bodyguard named Porter Rockwell, and he was one of the people that inspired the mafia because he cut off a shotgun. He cut the barrel down and the buttstock down. And so you'll see that the mobsters did the same thing, the Bonnie and Clyde types, the gangsters of that era. Here's Bonnie and Clyde with their short, they had the Tommy guns, people coming back from the war, and they also had the BARs, the Browning automatic rifles, which shot a 30-06 at full auto. And here's a full-length one like you'd see in the military, but again, they cut these shorter. Bonnie was a small woman, but here's what made the ATF start regulating these things. They looked at these firearms and they thought, hey, we need to stop these from getting in the hands of people, just like they did with alcohol, I guess. And so they started battling, they started arming themselves, and they kind of fought it out with these gangsters of that era. And this was kind of futile because they kept doing their thing. The thing that helped more than anything was actually doing away with prohibition. So doing away with these laws is what helped more so than enforcing more and more laws. But they never learn. All the ATF wants to do, they're basically the IRS. They want to collect taxes. So even to this day, you can have these weapons. You just have to pay a $200 tax, which is the equivalent of a $3,500, which is what it was for them back then. And luckily that hasn't gone up. But again, the ATF is just still true to their roots, which was a tax collecting agency. They didn't like that the bootleggers were selling alcohol with them getting a piece of it, so they did away with alcohol. And so now they're just obsessed with justifying their own existence, and so they just target these arbitrary laws on firearms, and they make no sense in this modern era. The ATF is just lingering in the past. They should be done away with. They have not evolved at all, and that's why it seems so confusing to us nowadays, because we live in this modern time and we question why, how does this make sense? What is this? This is stupidity. And sure enough, go on their website and it'll give you a headache. And making this video that was supposed to be on Bullpups did give me a headache. You get a handgun, for example. This is a handgun, and it's got a 16-inch barrel. That's a rifle length barrel. So is this a rifle or is this a pistol? Well, if this has got a rifle length barrel, am I allowed to put a buttstock on it and turn it into a rifle? This is only a 22, but they do have a version of it that is a rifle with a buttstock. So you look at their definitions, and like I said, your head will spin. They're focused on buttstocks, overall lengths, barrel lengths, and obviously they're the ones under Trump that just said, let's do away with this accessory, which is the bump stocks. And I'm not going to mention any other weapons. Well, I'm mentioning it right now. Any other weapons and what relates to their shotguns, their quote-unquote firearms, and that gets crazy too. So briefly, I just measured a few of my firearms to show you a scale of why Bullpups I think are wonderful. So this is your average 16-inch AR-15. It has a muzzle device on the end, but you look at the length of pole, around 15 inches. It makes it comfortable to shoulder and shoot, and that's a no-no with the ATF. They want it to be uncomfortable to shoot. This is a 14.5-inch barrel, and it requires to have a pin and welded muzzle device. So now the overall length of the barrel is 16 inches. So they let you put a buttstock on it that collapses. But if you get a 7.5-inch barrel like I have on this 300 Blackout, look, you're compromising your length of pole. You have to have a pistol brace on there because the overall length is shorter, and so is the barrel length. If you get a AR-15 with a 10.5-inch barrel, which coincidentally is the Tommy gun length as well, and then you get this SBA-3, they're calling this a stock now because it adjusts and collapses. But with this, I think you're sacrificing so much velocity in what the AR is designed to do. So I prefer Bullpups. I mean, I think they're beautiful. On this Bullpup, you've still got a very short package, a good length of pull, and you've got a 17.5-inch barrel. It's even longer than your average AR. So you're getting the performance that the round was designed for. You're getting a good, comfortable length of pull. You're not messing with what is a stock and what isn't, because, I mean, that's the action right there that you're putting your cheek on. And the cases spit out underneath that portion of it, behind the magazine. So they're unique. And let's look at briefly an AK so you can get a scale of, I don't know of any Bullpup AKs, but here's a pistol AK. You can see this one has to have a pistol brace or give them the tax money. And with a shotgun, this is a Remington 870, and this next one is a clone of a Remington 870. It's just so long gun with that 18-inch barrel, and you can make them longer. ATF doesn't care. Here's a big Sega 12, still an 18-inch barrel, but look how long the actual firearm is. Whereas you get the KSG, this is an 18-inch barrel with a 26-inch overall length, and it's ATF doesn't care about this. This is not an NFA item. You don't have to pay taxes or go through their weird hoops, even up to the 308s. This one's only got a 16-inch barrel. Typically, you'll have more like this with the 18-inch barrel, but there's a Bullpup for that too. This one has got an 18-inch barrel in a short little package, and I favor Kel-Tec because I'm left-handed. There's other Bullpups out there, and hopefully they'll get to be more and more of them. So today we have an organization that morphed out of a tax collector of gangsters and thugs to becoming the gangsters and thugs. Bullpups kind of illustrate the insanity of all of it, but you look at the Ruby Ridge Randy Weaver thing where he cut down an 18-inch barrel on a shotgun. They set him up to do that. They targeted him. They killed his family, and they have a history and a present of targeting ordinary citizens without any criminal intent or knowledge, but they trick them into unknowingly violating their technical, nonsensical rules. And they will come down with the full force of the law, and they will kill you if you go against them, and they need to be stopped. The NFA is ridiculous. The ATF no longer has a place in this modern era. There's no alcohol and tobacco portion of it, and so over 90+% of their violation or their prosecutions, their activities are against innocent, just citizens that own firearms. You look at the Waco, they killed, I can't remember, 70-something people, and it originated again from rumors of them having illegal firearms in their eyes. And so that's basically all this video was. It sucks that I put so much work into it and then erased my audio, but I'm posting this up anyway for my own satisfaction. This was also a good excuse for me to play with my green screen. I may or may not make future videos with the green screen, but here's me just screwing around having a good time with it. But basics of this video, in my opinion, don't pay your tax stamps, don't register your guns, don't confuse yourself with all their ridiculous rules. Ideally, the NFA should be repealed and the ATF as well, but we all know it'll just be the FBI doing it. So go get a Bullpup. You don't have to mess with any of this stuff. Get a Tavor, Hopefully other companies will start making them. I actually do like the Kel-Tecs, again, especially if you're left-handed. But I'm going to post this, and have a good day.